Hi YouTube family! Before we get into today's video, I first wanted to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and say thank you for supporting my channel this year. It's been a really great year for me on YouTube, so I thank you for watching, I thank you for subscribing, and thank you for commenting. I love you all. Secondly, I wanted you to know that the proceeds from this video will be going to the victims of the tornado outbreak that happened earlier this month. Also, I will have links in my description box below where you can donate directly to different fundraisers through GoFundMe and any of the others that I can come up with through the state agencies and such, that you can send money directly to help the families and the communities those affected. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. As you guys know, when it is a sunny day outside, my favorite thing to do, well, strike that. It could be raining. It doesn't really matter what the weather is. My favorite thing to get outside and do is go to the antique store. And this is one of my favorite ones. This is the one that is in my hometown on the square. And I like to come in here and see what's new from time to time. As soon as I walked in, I bumped into these vintage Christmas trees. Such a steal. This green one was $8 and the bigger white one behind it was only $20. And they have the fiber optic little things that make them light up when you plug them in, and I just know they would be so cool plugged up. And boy, did I really have to stand back and think about these for a minute. I knew something was smelling really good over here in this area. It must have been these wax melts. I actually like in antique stores when they have some things like that for sale other than just antiques. If I hadn't already just done a pair of skates for Christmas, then I would have been checking the price on those, but I've already done that, so that's scratched off my crafting list of to-dos. So I'm no longer looking to purchase ice skates. I do love a granite or enamelware pot, and you can get these pretty inexpensively at most antique stores. They're so cute to go in a vintage kitchen. This phonograph was pretty interesting. I don't believe it's an original, or else I think the price tag would have been higher than $30, and it looks like it's in really, really good shape. But it would be awesome as a decoration in someone's home. It might actually still work. And this TV I thought was really cool. I've actually seen this in the store before, and I just love the 1950s vibe of it on its little legs. And recently I have been quite addicted to old radios. And these were a little bit out of my budget, but I do love the idea of collecting vintage radios. Now here's something that's really my speed. A big glass jug. I actually have one, I think identical to this one already, and it sits above my cabinets in my kitchen, and I actually wanted to find another one, and $5 is an awesome price tag, so I'll be purchasing that. This booth was really interesting with all its cute little bobbins of thread and jars of buttons, and someone must have really been a collector of old thread and buttons and vintage sewing items, or maybe they actually were loved and gotten lots of use, but I found them very charming. Over here in the corner, this ladder caught my eye. You know, they sell things like this for $50 or $60 in some of the high-end stores, but if you check your antique stores and your thrift shops, you can usually find a ladder at a pretty good price, and that one was perfect. It didn't need painted or anything. I stopped to consider this potato chip container for just a second. It was a really good price. I think it was $5. It would be cute on top of my cabinets, but ultimately I just wasn't sure about the colors of it. And this right here makes me wish I had a landline. I need to get a landline put back at this house so that I can have this phone in my kitchen. I just love this green phone. I love a rotary phone anyway, but a green one for the kitchen, how vintage stinking cute. And this kitchen gadget with the 1950s atomic stars on it, which I'm guessing it is a sifter. I haven't ever seen a sifter quite like this because it didn't have the trigger that you squeeze, but since there's a screen at the bottom, I'm guessing that's what it was, but it was really, really cute. I also really love to put vintage aprons in a vintage kitchen. I think they are so cute hung up for decoration. And throw in an old wooden ironing board and I am in vintage kitchen heaven. When I first started going to antique stores, my main thing I collected were these little glass milk jars, and that's because my mom would tell me about in school their milk came in these glass jars, and I just couldn't imagine. And they are so cute, and to this day I still have quite a few of them. I also really adore anytime I see these vintage metal measuring spoons. I already have a set, or I would have scooped these up. This crochet tablecloth caught my eye. I love anything lace or crochet, but I already have a crochet tablecloth that I'm not using. I'm not sure really how to display it. The next thing I really thought was neat was this jar. It didn't have its lid, but it's such a nice size, and yeah, it's gonna be going home with me to sit on top of my kitchen cabinet. This booth is always my favorite one that has decorating stuff in it. Every time I come in here, she's got new things and she always has it displayed so pretty, and it really makes you want to buy up all of it. And I found another jar for my collection, and I like how this knob was added to the lid. I think it's safe to say that I'm pretty much a glassware addict. It always catches my eye, just any kind of pretty glassware. I like the clear stuff. I love vintage old plates and bowls and dishes, and I can't have it all because I don't have room for it, but one can look, right? Then I saw, this is not an antique, it's not vintage, but look at the cute pattern on this bucket. And every time I go to the antique store, there's always one item that I didn't buy that I get home and think, why? Why didn't I buy it? Well, in today's trip, it is this soap dish. This white granite soap dish of the likes I've never seen because it has a lid. It has this grated thing and a bottom part, and I am assuming this is so that your soap doesn't sit and get all slimy. The water can drain to the bottom through this grate. And for $9, why, oh why, oh why did I not buy it? But I guess logically, I'm thinking I don't use bar soap. Who cares? And the runner-up to the granite soap dish that I did not buy, I also did not buy this vintage juicer for $18. And I love that it's metal. I love that it's white. I love that it's 50s and it works. You could actually use it. It would be so enjoyable to squeeze a lemon or an orange in this juicer. I had to test it out a few times, but I left it set because I guess I was after jars. So why would I buy a juicer when I'm after jars? My logic doesn't make sense sometimes. Another thing that I used to collect when I was new at antiquing were these granite saucepans. You can find them really inexpensive. This was a great price on those saucepans. But what can one do with so many saucepans? They used to go on top of my cabinets, actually, and now I'm replacing them with jars. And I thought that this was interesting, these old metal noise makers. And you don't usually see things like this, not in my antique store anyway. These colorful freezer boxes were something I've never seen before. I've seen the metal freezer boxes, but they're always just the plain aluminum or metal. And I've never seen them in such pretty vibrant colors, and I thought they were really cute. And the reason I like those is probably due to my memories of these sorts of dishes from my grandma's house. And I run onto these dishes quite frequently at antique stores, and I always admire them. I've never picked them up. I usually don't find a whole set. There's usually some missing. Like in this set, you have 3 of the same size bowls, and then that little pink one off to the side there, it's smaller. I don't know why. I could never find a whole set. I guess I should just start picking them up individually, and then eventually I would have them all. And here's another metal kitchen item that I've never seen in a color variety before. This one's blue, and it's really pretty, and I'm just saying thank goodness that they have ice machines now, because I'd hate to get my ice out of this thing. Did I mention that I'm a glassware junkie? When I came into this booth, I immediately saw some glasses that we used to have in my childhood home. These Coke glasses, I'll always remember. I thought they were so cute. I was so happy that we got to drink out of Coke glasses. In any kind of dish with a rose or a flower on it, I just love it. And any kind of Corningware or Pyrex. I want it all. Okay, this one blew my mind. I picked this up. I thought I was picking up a kitchen gadget, but I couldn't figure out exactly what it was for. It had a pitchfork, and I couldn't figure out what the other part was for. It had like a clamp deal, and I read curling. Does it actually say curling iron? Is this an old curling iron? Please tell me. Please tell me people didn't put this thing on a hot stove, wood stove, to get it hot, and then curl their hair with it. I mean, I don't know. Our curling irons get up to over 400 degrees now, so I suppose ours probably aren't any safer than this, but I was flipping out. I couldn't believe, is that a curling iron? And then I saw this, an old vintage eyelash curler. I mean, I didn't even know they had these things way back when. This looks really, really old. Old. Not from the 80s, not from the 70s. I don't even think from the 60s. I want to guess that this is older than all of that. And then the last thing that I saw was this really old door. Oh gosh, how I love an old chippy white paint door, especially when it has a glass window. It is my goal to have one of these actually useful in my house someday. So here is part of what I came home with. I'm really happy with these jars and the price that I got them for, and now I'm going to put them on top of my kitchen cabinets. It's starting to fill up the space, but I still feel like I need some other things up there with it. I did have a garland, a greenery garland up there when it was spring and summertime, so maybe I should find maybe a cotton garland would be cute up there with all this glassware. I don't know. And I did wind up with the fluffy white vintage Christmas tree. I'm so happy that this has come to live at my house. It does have the fiber optic little plastic pieces, and it is plugged up and they are lit. It's just a really subtle shimmer on the tree. I bet when the lights are turned out, it's going to look gorgeous. Thanks for watching my video today, everyone. Don't forget to go down into my description box and use the links to make your donations to the tornado victims. And please pray for those communities and those families. It's just got to be such a horrible time. Please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.